Okay, so in this video I'm going to go through the written part for Unit 14. So it's easier than actually making your program. You just need to know how to do it and how to put it in. So first thing, you've got to design an event-driven application to meet defined requirements. So literally just scroll down. Step 1, the purpose of the program. You've already got the purpose of the program here. You literally just have to put it into your own words and you're done. Clearly listing the user requirements, done. Copy and paste this, bang it in, done. Okay, next one. Create annotated detailed form designs. Now that one I can't show you, that one's up to you. So based on what you have created, your colour scheme, etc., you need to create designs. So you create them on PowerPoint, create them whatever you want to create them on, and put them into your Word document. You must annotate them. So you must show me the background colour in hex or in RGB, the font, specifically what font, the colours of the buttons, all that kind of stuff, and the positions. Now to find the positions, if I can find my form, I'll literally click on what I want to find the position of. So I'm going for this one. If I look further down, it tells me it's Microsoft Sans Serif 8.25, so I've killed two birds with one stone there. I know what font it is and I know the size. I know the colour, it's black. Scroll down, keep scrolling, location, that is the position, okay, and that is the position of my button, so I'll literally just copy that into position, and that is my size. So that's it, I've got everything off Visual Studio, and you're lucky because you've made it. I know this is a different program, but you know, so do that for everything, every single element. I want font size, font style, I want the colour, I want the background colour if you've got one, I want the location, and I want the size of everything. Okay, so that's that one. So you need to create a form design for each one. So you need to create a form design for your login, a form design for your what's it called, your till, that one, your EDP system with all your buttons on, and annotate it for everything. If it's not annotated, you will fail. Okay, so make sure you do it. Right, this one, action event table. This one's easy. It sounds hard, but it's not. Literally create me a table, okay? The action event table, so your action is what you do, so you click. Your event is the event handler. So if I double click on my button, this is my event. I will literally copy that and put it underneath where it says event. So my action will be click, button click. My event will be btn check _ click, and my process will be what's happening. What happens when I click on that button. Okay, data storage, this is where you show me all your variables, so it's another table, a separate table. Oh, you've got to do this for each form, by the way, so for every form, it's a separate table. Okay, and on this separate table I want some headings. I want data storage, right, that's my title. I want variable, and I want where it's stored, so form name, and I want type, and I want what it does. So what I mean by that is variable. So it's all your variables. So see if I've got a variable. There we go. So my variable name is cost. It's stored on my form called form1.cs. The type of variable is an integer. And it stores a variable. So it stores a value, so the cost of an item. That is all I will put in. So cost is the name of my variable. Form.cs is where it's stored. Integer is a type, and what it does is it stores a cost of a single item, and that's it. And you do that for every single variable you use, public and private. Okay, so over every form. So you should have two forms at the moment. So you should have your login form and you should have your EPOS system form. So you should only have two forms, and for every single form you do the action event table and you do the data storage table. And that's P3 done. P4 you've already done. You've already made it, so don't worry about that one. As long as you've commented it, you're fine. M2, so I'll come back to M2. P5 is a test plan. So you can do a test video if you want, but you still have to do a test plan. So for your test plan, I need you to basically create a plan. So I'll show you on Word. It might be easier. Don't need to do that anymore. Back. Right, insert. So insert table. So my test plan is going to be test number. Then it's going to be test name. test data, expected outcome, then we'll add some more, actual outcome, and then match. So my test number is going to be 1. My test name is going to be, let's go for login button. My test data is going to be mouse click on the login button. Expected outcome, when I click on the login button, I expect my credentials to be checked and be moved on to the next page. Right, leave actual outcome and match because that's your testing. So in here, test data, mouse click on the login button with correct credentials. Now you do the same thing but with incorrect credentials. So this becomes test 2. So login button is the same thing. So you can just copy and paste it. Mouse click with incorrect. And you're going to go, I expect my credentials to be checked and an alert appear notifying me the details are wrong. And you do that for every single button, every calculation, everything you have on your system. Alright, so you need to create your plan. Now, when it comes to you actually doing your testing, if you wanted, you could do it where you put an extra column on here and put evidence, or you can create a video with voiceover where you literally screen record you testing. Okay? So this is called functionality testing. The next thing you've got to do is requirements testing. So you'd have another table. This one would be requirement testing. And you'd copy the same thing. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. And you copy it. And instead of having... Well, you can have the same thing. But not quite, if that makes sense. So we'll to get rid of this. And then we will put in... So say, for example, I'm testing my first user requirement. So my first user requirement, the program should open with a login form. So copy that. That is my first test. Let's get rid of the formatting on that and put it over that way a bit. Yep. So the program should open with a login form and ask the user to enter in their details before the main menu form appear. So in here, we'll put met, and then we'll put evidence. And we don't actually need these. So if you are doing a video, delete row, no column. So if you're doing a video to prove this, you would just put C video like that. And all you would do in your video is show you opening your program. So starting from scratch, going to in your documents, finding your program, and then opening up your program to be presented with a login screen. Okay? And then in Met you will put yes or no and evidence C video, and you would do that for every single one of these. Okay? So that is your requirements testing. So this one is your functionality testing, and this one's your requirements testing. So once you've done that, your testing is done. And you've covered functionality and requirements. Okay? So P6, now this is where you have to create another screen. So I did kind of allude to this a little bit, but we'll go there. So what you need to do is create one more screen. So put a button, okay? So add a button onto your EPOS system, so where all your pizzas are and stuff, and put this information in. So you only need one, okay? So a brief explanation of how to use the system. So as long as you include these things, it's fine. Make sure you include screenshots as well. How to delete an item, how to add an item, how to change the quantity of an item, how to add discount to your order, and any others you can think of. Basic hardware, software requirements needed to run the EPOS system. Easiest way, just go on to Currys, find a cheap laptop, get the specs, paste it in. And then contact details, this is you. Put your email address. That is P6. That is an easy pass. Okay? And then, that is all the pass criteria. So if you're just going for pass, stick there. Don't read the rest of it because it'll confuse you. But if you are sticking for merit, stick around. Okay, so I'll go through merit now. So M2. So you need to explain why you use the tools and programming techniques you've used to produce your program. So why did you use radio buttons? Why did you use buttons? Why did you not use drop-down lists? Why did you use variables? Why did you use those specific types of data types? And why have you used those? Why have you used like if statements and loops or while loops, for loops, that kind of thing? You need to justify each and every one of those and why you have used it. If you don't explain your reasons for them well and just give me a description of each of these, you will not get it. So I'm talking along the lines of, let's go for data types. For my price list in my dictionary, I have decided to use the variable integer. I have used an integer because it allows it to be a real number. I didn't use a double, or I didn't use this because of this, and that is the kind of link you're going for. Now, I'm not going to give you every piece of information because on merit you are expected to do some research yourself. So I'm not going to kind of hold your hand as much through this one. So that's M2. So explain why you have used all of those things. Okay. M3. So an overall discussion of your test results. So after you've done your testing, for each individual test, you need to create an analysis that compares the expected result and your actual result. So, for example, if we go back to this page, and I'm talking about here, these might be the wrong way round. So when my credentials are correct, it might bring up an error. And when my credentials are incorrect, it might send you through. So my actual outcome here, I would have to test between what I expected to come out. So I would literally have to analyse what went wrong and show fixing it. Okay? So that is that bit. And then you need, if there's any discrepancies, so for example where we went wrong with if for example our credentials were checked and they were incorrect but they sent us on to the next page, we need to try and discuss a reason for that. Okay? And what impact that has on the system itself. So for example, it allows anyone to access because it's not protected. So the actual login form may as well not be there because there's no reason for it. And then you've got to show how you fixed it and retested it. So this will be a written analysis and a written section that screenshots your evidence of making it. So there's no video for this one. Okay. M4, you have to create a technical documentation. So what that means is you have to explain everything in a technical way. So remember, you're doing it for a technical audience. So give me an introduction and overview of the program. So rewrite this. Screenshots of every form, okay, and an explanation of the purpose of them, and also so basically, if you were to give this to, say, for example, your mum, all right, and they needed to actually learn how to make that form based on only what you gave them, just the designing, no programming, you would need to tell them exactly what controls you used, exactly the sizes, and exactly the fonts. Again, it's super easy to get. You literally just click on here, go to your design, and scroll down your properties list and find it. So it's not that hard. The next thing is you need to copy and paste your commented code along with detailed technical annotations. So just commenting your code doesn't make it on this one. You have to explain the different sections of code and how they work. So especially the complex sections like your if statements, your while loops, that kind of thing. So you have to delve a little bit deeper with this one. And then here, data table explains all of the variables in the program, their name, data type, and their function. So that is kind of an extension of your data table, storage table up here. But you have to explain the function and not just explain the just identify them. Okay? And then you need to details of any known bugs or issues. So is there any issues in your system? If there is, you need to let them know. So that's merit. If you're stopping at merit, leave it there and don't confuse yourself with the distinction. But I'm going to go through the distinction now. So to get merit and distinction, obviously you have to have merit and distinction in assignment 1. So distinction in assignment 2 is to produce a detailed evaluation of your event-driven programming. It should be added to your report and include evaluations of the completed program against the requirements. So for each of these requirements, you need to evaluate how well you met them. Then you need to evaluate the development process. So how well did you do? What was the process like? Could you have done it better on a different piece of software? Were there things you wanted to change? The usability of your program and its use of events. So you need to look through each of your events and evaluate how well they've been used and how usable your program is. Now, it would be useful to do some usability testing on here. So basically, set a list of questions for somebody in your house to use who haven't actually made the program or been involved in it, and ask them to see if they can use the program, see if it's easy to use. Use that evidence in your evaluation. Your performance in developing the programming. So this can't be just a 2-word thing like I did well. It has to be a full evaluation with evidence to support it. Plus some sensible suggestions for improvements. So for this whole section, you're looking between 1.5 pages to 2 pages. Okay. For this section, you're looking for maybe 5, 6 to 7 pages. This one, you're looking at, well, it depends on how many discrepancies you have, but around 3 pages. And this one, you're looking at around 1.5 pages. Okay, so there is quite a bit to do, but that is the overall of how to do the written subject for Unit 14.